in Florida.
This morning, the man who owned the flight school where the two men learned how to fly sits down with ABC Action News to talk about his connection to the horrific events and also explain why he is so angry.
I was like everybody else, watching with flabbergasted what the hell was happening. Was it an accident? Was it an attack? Was it a mistake? Was it a malfunction of an airplane? We didn't know. Next morning, September 12th, it's when my 911 started.
At 5:30 in the morning, Rudi Dekkers got a call. The FBI wanted to talk about two students who would change Dekkers' life and the life of every American forever.
I had an outside body experience. I was floating in the ceiling and looking down on my body. I tell you, I cannot explain to you.
Rewind to July of 2000.
I was drinking a cup of coffee. They walked in and I said, "Can I help you, gentlemen?"
The men were Mohammed Atta and Marwan al-Shehhi, pilots of the two planes that brought down the Twin Towers.
There was nothing that we could have seen that they were terrorists. I wish, because then I would have stopped it.
While Dekkers says he didn't know their motives, he knew he didn't like Atta.
He had an expression of dead men walking. I said to myself, my gosh, he's not buried yet, but that's the only thing.
Dekkers says Atta didn't follow instructions.
After 6 weeks, I set him straight, and I told him, if you do not behave, I'll kick you out. He didn't like that. I mean, he was very arrogant, and I don't think he liked it that I stepped on his toes.
According to Dekkers, more than 60 people worked for him at Huffman Aviation in Venice. And during the nearly 6 months the men were there, no one ever guessed what they were up to.
Everything was normal for us. Nothing was a red flag.
And after the two left the school in December of 2000, Dekkers, who owned the school, and his instructors who taught the men how to fly, continued on until Dekkers got the phone call a day after the attack. He shares his story in guilty by association, and today the man from Amsterdam is struggling.
I tried to set up a new aviation company, but every time when I have to deal with FAA, they put the heel in the sand.
The former businessman who can't get a loan is angry.
It's not my fault what happened here. I did my business. I was hired for a professional job. I did my job. United States government did not do their job, period.
On the flip side, though, some are angry with Dekkers about writing a book.
I pledge that any dollar that I make more than my loss, I will give to a 911 fund.
And today, 10 years later, Dekkers says his thoughts are with the victims and families of the victims. He says he's not a victim, but his life will never be the same.
I lost everything, my friend. I lived the American dream. And 6 months after, I was nothing anymore.
Dekkers plans to share his story by traveling to different speaking engagements, and he hopes that his book will help his speaking career.
The Tampa Bay Rays will mark this 10th anniversary of the September 11th attack.